People of Reddit, what are some scary stories from your countries? Scotland. The legend about Sonny Ben and his family who murdered and then ate travelers. They're estimated to have killed around 1,000 people. Tautamana, Tatamonu. Zombie ghosts of Micronesia. The spirits of the ancient islanders. They take the form of mutilated, rotten corpses, missing limbs and even heads. As spirits they harass trespassers and anyone who disrespect the jungle. When they touch you, they leave a painful pinch or hand-shaped bruise on the victim that makes you sick, and the cure is to see a witch doctor and apologize to the Tautamana. They also shape-shift into stray pets to lure kids into the jungle, as well as possess kids to get them lost at night. My grandparents had a bolt lock on the top of the door to keep the kids from going missing before they moved to America. I am from Chile and we have a legend called El Trauco. It was an ugly dwarf who attacked men. But when he saw a girl he would become a beautiful man and then make the girls pregnant. I'm a boy. What scared me about El Trauco when I was a child was the fact that he was ugly. In Brittany there's a night spirit called Muriak. He's a shapeshifter, but he often appears at night near country roads as an undead horse with arms that beats the shit out of travelers while laughing like a maniac. Basically, to understand French monsters, remember that for most of the territory is scary shit-eating people, Southwest is weird shit-eating people, and Brittany is weird shit doing weird shit to people. Every German child in story is creepy. They often either end with someone being eaten or killed. This is because the stories were told to children to scare them from, for example, leaving the path while going through the forest, not letting strangers enter the house. There are a lot of creepy stories, but not all. On the 23rd of December, the day before the biggest day of Christmas, this is Scandinavia, we are the reason Christmas is a thing. Big J was born in August or something, and the original holiday was just the several few days right after a winter solstice. One would do well not to be alone. One famous story is that, a long time ago, the family and serfs were going to a several-day celebration in the household. One day over, a girl was chosen to stay at home and watch the house, the livestock, but was directed not to leave for any reason on the 23rd. She did as was told, managing what she was supposed to, but in the evening of the 23rd, Lax Mesa, she started seeing lights in the courtyard. There was beautiful singing and she could see through the hazy glass that there was dancing and a bountiful banquet. There were people outside beckoning her to come join them. After all, her real family had left her to rot while they make merry. So eventually she did. She left her house and partook in the fun, ate of the food, drank of the drinks. When her family returned on the 24th, the girl was nowhere to be seen, taken by the elves. The White Lady, France. She is looming in the street deep at night and trying to make cars stop. If you stop, you are dead. Ow shit, is it real stories only? Then go check Xavier Dupont de Ligons on Wikipedia, or the Gregory Affair, both really creepy and unresolved stories. Link in the description. Italy. We once had a woman called Leonarda Cianciulli who killed people and turned them into soap and baking powder. El Cuco, a Puerto Rican legend that parents uses to make their children go to sleep. If you don't go to sleep, my grandmother used to say when I was 8, El Cuco will grab you by the legs and bring you under the bed to eat you. Scared the living hell out of me every single time. My grandma is Vietnamese. She told me if you ever kill a snake be sure to cut its head off and watch out when you use doors. If their partner finds the snake dead they will hang by the doors, waiting for you to step out. If you forgot to cut the snake's head off, both of them will hang on the door and bite you to death. Sounds cheesy but I was 8 at the time. So it terrified me as a kid. La Llorona, the crying woman, walking by the rivers of Mexico looking for the children she drowned. Story goes she was a beautiful young woman with 3 kids and she fell in love with a man. The man told her he couldn't marry her cause of her children, so she drowned them in the river. Afterwards she went to the man only to find he had another woman. After finding out the truth she threw herself into the river and drowned, and now her spirit haunts the rivers of Mexico as she looks for the souls of her 3 kids. You can hear her scream, Miss Hijos, oh my children. And if you are alone at night walking by a river and you hear her, you better run or she will catch you and drown you into the waters, especially if you are a child. Another one is La Lacusa, a witch that can turn into an owl and sounds like a baby crying. Legend says the witch was very clever and would always look for a home that had a newborn in it. When it would find a house, the Lacusa would wait until nighttime and make the sound of a baby crying, this distracting the mother thinking a baby was outside. While the parents would be distracted looking for this crying baby, the Lacusa would climb through the window, snatch the newborn and eat it, only leaving bits and pieces of the baby for the mother and father to find. Now if the witch was really hungry, it would wait until dusk and make a whistling sound instead to trick small children to go outside. Once outside, the small child would be carried away and never seen again. My cousins and I have actually heard the whistling of the Lacusa many times, and we were always warned to be indoors if there was no light outside. My grandmother would tell us the moment we heard that whistling, that would be the last thing we would hear before we got eaten. I was hiking on a mountain that is supposedly sacred and haunted. It's in Indonesia. One of the rules there are no swearing on the way up, and nothing we wear can be colored green. I didn't believe any of it, so I just wore a green hiking bag, and my friends swore all the way from bottom to top. During our first night camping, we started to hear unintelligible human whispering from around our tent. Afterwards, something that looks like a human hand pressed against the tent and repeatedly tried to claw its way into the tent. It continued for hours and we could not sleep. The next morning, all of our shoes, which were supposed to be neatly arranged, are everywhere around our tent. Never going there again. Well, vampires. People often think that vampires came from Transylvania or something like that, but they came from Serbia. First known vampire was Petar Blagojevic. After his death in late 1700s, a lot of people died under strange circumstances in the village where he lived, and his wife reported seeing him at night. People decided to dig up his grave and found he didn't really decompose. His beard grew and they found blood on his mouth. After him there are a lot of other cases. Also, the word vampire is also Serbian origin. My family is Hispanic, from the Dominican Republic, and my grandma used to tell me a story about a girl named Siguapa. I hope that's how you spell it. A young girl with blue skin, hair in front of her face, and very flexible limbs and joints. For more of a scare, it was told that she would appear in the distance of mango trees. A lot of times families would go harvesting together, so the chances of one straying from the pack were not thin at all, that anyone could just be taken away in the distraction of beautiful landscapes and succulent fruit. The Maldives. Oh man, there are so many giant eels that would come from the depths and steal your catch, spirits that would come from the sea and impersonate your own. Usually they would eat the population until they were caught. Ghost ships, mass desertions, some actually recorded in history, of violence. But my favorite would be the great sea beast, that only rises when there is a monochrome rainbow, and come ashore with the setting sun, leaving behind only gore. I live in Texas, so not really a country, but here goes. There was a bus full of kindergartners about to cross a train track, but they get stuck for a while, and in the distance there's a train speeding through, so the bus driver tries desperately to get unstuck, but to no avail. The train kills everyone, and legend has it that if you try to cross the same railroad crossing, the ghosts of the little kindergartners will push your vehicle and leave little handprints. Millions of people in my country can't afford health care. Thank you for watching. Stay home, stay safe, subscribe for more.